In realms long forgotten, there are tales of the Forest Kingdom, a place of honour and chivalry, known to some as the Land of the Purple Dragon, but known to all as Cormyr.
Hi, I'm Tilda, and I'm playing Hiram, a half-orc paladin.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm playing Cassie Donahue, human bard.
Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm playing Badger, a forest gnome monk.
Hi, my name is Anton, and I play Balthazar, a Warforged Cloak of Azuth.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm playing Slate, a changeling druid.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm playing Zombo, who is a halfling rogue/warlock.
And my name is Dan. I shall be the dungeon master on this adventure. Hello, everyone.
Hello, indeed.
Hello.
How are you on this beautifully dark winter evening?
Well, speak for yourself, Dan.
Yeah, true, very true.
And it's getting
All
nice
good.
and spooky out there with Halloween on the way.
It's very spoopy. Very
Is that
spoopy.
why your hello there's are getting creepier and creepier every week?
Yeah, I'm just kind of building up to the main event.
What you gonna do for Christmas?
I know, right? Oh, the beer comes out in full force.
You need to have a
It will
white
be.
beard.
It has to be hello ho ho, because that's part of.
Inspiration for Slate. Right. Shall we jump into it?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, in that case, without further ado, since her birth in 26 DR, Cormyr has evolved under the nobles of House Oberskir, whose many hands have guided the country from conflict to peace countless times. Feltharn Oberskir, Ismella Oberskir, Azun Oberskir V. Whilst not all of Cormyr's rulers have been altruistic, there have been enough kings and queens with good intent to ensure the nation's loyalty to the crown. Therefore, Cormyr finds itself in a precarious position. The country is divided, torn between those who stand loyal to King Ezered and those who stand loyal to the former queen, Raedra. Outright conflict has not yet manifested, but there are those that worry that Ezered's strong-arm stance on the separatists accelerates the nation to violence every day. Some point to the Warhounds and accuse them of being the catalyst for this troubling time, but perhaps the Warhounds are Cormyr's best hope for peace.
Damn right we are.
I would say so.
Very good.
Ungrateful people.
We find the Warhounds stood around some pretty telling evidence of a recent dragon attack. The scorched and charred corpse of a half-eaten deer, the funnel of burnt grass and earth leading up to the entrance of a barrow, above which proudly sits the skull of a slain dragon, the trophy of Narvlish Skyshatter, the ancient druid entombed within. In front of you stands a man of dark complexion, with a shaved, clean head, and a scar running down his left cheek, who stands upright and alert, and the words "Helena's fish" When was the last time you spoke to your mother? Rings in the air. And you notice that the purple dragons that form Caven Tor's party appear to be quite on edge. You hear nothing from behind you, knowing from Helenus Fish and Axicas, the two mercenaries from the Society of Stalwart Adventurers that accompanied you into the Barrow. And as the silence hangs heavy, what do you do?
If I might make a suggestion here.
Of course, says Caven.
These two have fought with us in Hullock. They have proved themselves to be very loyal to Cormyr. Can we maybe not interrogate them where there's a potential dragon problem lurking?
Caven looks to you and sort of like tilts his head. Well, of course, this is certainly no place for questioning. No, Ms. Fish, if you would be so kind, we would like to speak with you back at the Stagsteads, which, as you all remember, is Caven told you that is where the loyalists are currently cooped up whilst they flush the forest for Radrans.
Is that really necessary? I mean, you can see that we're on Warhound business here. We've been this lady's been kind enough to assist us. Surely she can go on her way as she's with us.
Well, I have no intention of interrupting Warhound business, but as I understand it, Ms. Fish is part of the Society of Stalwart Adventurers and not the Warhounds. And it would seem, given that we found her and her colleague here with you, that perhaps they were the mercenaries sent by the Society to help us with our dragon hunt. Consider it a debriefing, Ms. Fish.
Badger's,
sorry, go on, Badger.
Badger's going to look up at Helenus and a sort of checking what she thinks, if she's okay.
So Helenus is kind of distracted. You can see that she's paying attention to the purple dragons, but at the same time, she seems more concerned with kind of keeping Axicas's weight off of her sprained ankle.
Right.
Because you can see her hooved foot is kind of gingerly kind of giving way every time Axicas tries to readjust her weight on the soft ground.
Do the purple dragons have a healer with them?
As you look around, you notice there seems to be a distinct lack of healers. These are all soldiers of varying rank.
And also, if only we had someone who could read minds. That would be so useful right now. Wouldn't it be, Carl?
Yes, it would be. It's a shame that Catchy doesn't know how to control it yet.
So, yeah, Helenus looks up over to Caven Tor, and like she looks to all of you, and this grim expression kind of spreads across her face, where she realizes that things are a little bit tight, and she I'm happy to come as long as I can bring my colleague here with me. She's injured, you understand. Caven tilts his head down ever so slightly, and there's this kind of sorrowful, regretful expression that kind of licks across his features for a moment, and he looks to the Warhounds. I assume that, given that this business is finished, perhaps you could look after the Tiefling Mage. Ms. Fish, we would be much appreciative if you were to come with us alone.
think Helena's made it quite clear she wouldn't come without Ixogas.
Well,
Look, would you mind horribly if we just accompanied you back together?
you're planning on heading to the Stagsteads?
We can take a detour at this point, I think.
So, just to quickly point out, you know that. Sorry, bear with me 2 seconds. Turn that off. Right, there we go. Hello, right.
See, you've put markers on the map. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Trap. Right. So, just to clarify, yeah, on the looking around. So you are currently at Narvler's Barrow. Dead Luke is between you and the Stagsteads. So 100%, yes, you could accompany the Purple Soldiers. In fact, they might enjoy the company and the protection from such an esteemed adventuring group. And then, yeah, so you know that you would head to Dead Luke and then begin heading down the Starwater Road in an eastern direction, or southeastern direction, beg my pardon, and that will bring you pretty much to the Stagsteads. At that point, you know, if you carried on and then carried further along the Starwater Road to the east and then kind of kicked off to the north, you'd end up at Fort Lysera. But yes, Caven turns to you and absolutely, I would be more than honoured if the Warhounds were to accompany us. These woods are a tad more dangerous than they usually are, thanks to the current climate.
And how long do you reckon your questioning of our friend here would take? We're eager to be on our way. Much to attend to in crushing these rebels, as you can probably appreciate.
Well, once, as I say, once we, you know, if you are planning on escorting us back to the Stagsteads, once we have arrived, there's no need for you to stay. We'd like to speak to Helenus alone.
Can Badger insight this at all? Badger is trying to get a sort of police brutality read on the situation.
Yeah, let's call
Like,
that.
how much of this is authoritarian bullshit? I'm guessing almost 100% of it, so it's a 12.
12. Okay, so whilst Caven's tone is polite and, you know, it's almost like he's, well, whilst it's polite and calm, you can sense there's a sense of you know, forcefulness behind his words, coupled with the fact that the purple dragons are not at ease at the moment. You can see that they're all kind of like they're stiff. You can see their shoulders are slightly raised. You can see some of them kind of their hands kind of fidgeting across the pommels of their blades in their scabbards. Some of them kind of looking nervously to one another.
By all means, we'd let you have your private chat, but you know, our business with Miss Fish here ain't concluded either, so we'd like to wait around to the end of the questioning if that's alright, and then we can take her with us when we go. That wouldn't be a problem, would it?
Your business?
Well, we've teamed up on this here dragon hunt, haven't we? And, well, we haven't found the dragon yet, or we found it, but it got away.
That's troubling. Caven looks at you. There's a ripple of kind of frustration across his face. Somebody roll me a persuasion check.
Ooh.
Or a deception, if you'd rather roll a deception. If that was a fib. I suppose it wasn't, was it?
It's not technically a fib, is it?
No.
A little bit of a fib. A little
Well,
bit misleading.
well, what would you like me to roll, Dan?
What would you like to roll, Zombo?
I suppose he is being. Yeah, I suppose he's probably being slightly less than honest. So.
Okay, so let's go for a deception.
20.
Okay. Caven takes a breath as you schmooze him a little bit, and of course, for heroes such as yourself, of course. I don't expect the questioning will take all of that long, Ms. Fish. The Alphons are usually quite quick.
Oh,
Okay. Catcher sort of steps up, like, my Lord Tor, would it be better if you, and she cast suggestion, wouldn't it be better if you allowed her to remain in our custody for the time being while you return to the tavern?
So, question on that, because just on the spellcasting of Catcher, because like suggestion probably involves some components.
The suggestion is you leave her in our custody. The question is while you return to the tavern, but the actual suggestion itself is leave her in our custody.
Out of character, before you cast suggestion, wouldn't it be worth first trying to persuade them, like, hey, she's actually already helping us hunt down her mother?
I think it's pretty clear what these guys want to do at this point. They even if Zombo's DC 20 wasn't enough to sway them, I think we need some more.
That's for us just accompanying them. Like, I would try saying that, hey, we are looking for we are looking for these bandits. She promised to help us. She's more likely to trust us with this. Isn't that worth trying before we cast spells on him?
Well, for this one, he doesn't know a spell's been cast.
Okay.
Like, this is definitely, the spell doesn't say that they're aware of it. So if this fails, it's just a suggestion that didn't go anywhere.
Dimdan. Yeah, just no, on spellcasting, because spellcasting would take like 6 seconds. It's an action, and like spellcasting sort of involves, I think, verbal and material components being used. So is that a thing, or is that not?
Which is where the home rule for Katya has come in. That all her stuff is psychically based.
Oh,
so
I got
she doesn't require.
So I think Eleanor wanted to say something.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, I'm just asking for clarification. Is this just basically like a hostage situation?
Well, so yeah, the dragons look like they want to take in Hellenis, and they're not going to take no for an answer.
But just
they're going to take it to Alphons as well, which are mind readers.
Does did we tell Hellenis where her mum is based? We did, definitely.
She knows where she's based because she was on her way to see her.
Right. Okay, that's fine. That's all I need to know for now.
And how many of them are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're not fighting them, come on.
I'm just counting.
I know you're counting.
Can I ask, what kind of possessions have these guys got on them?
Who? Sorry.
The purple dragons and the crew, the posse.
So I mean, like the recruits. So the recruits down here, they've got like sword and shield. The blade. I mean, they're all basically sword, shield, heavy armor.
No wagon or any kind of like.
They're all on foot.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Dimdan, can I be taken to the page? I think I'm on the map.
Oh. Beg my pardon.
Oh.
Just pull you all out and then put you all back in.
There we go.
There you go.
Actually,
So, Katja, what was your suggestion?
how about you leave Helenus under our care, and you return to the tavern?
So as you say that, Caven Tor looks to you. Like his eyes fix on you for a moment as you say the words. And he slowly tilts his head. And his frown grows more and more as his mouth kind of hangs open. And his eyes narrow slightly. And then he blinks a few times and... I think we should head back to the tavern, yes. As he turns to leave, the purple dragons stay where they are, a bit dumbstruck. And, sorry? One of them asks.
Catcher calls after Caven's like, "Thank you, my lord."
And the Telsword next to Hiram kind of steps forward and shouts out, "Sir, what are you doing?"
Zumbo is going to step up to him and go, "Did you not hear him? That's your commanding officer. Hop to it, lad."
No, okay, hold on.
The Telsword looks to you, and you can see that there's an intensity in his eyes. And, you know, Caven Tor's just starting to walk off, like down the glade. He's making a beeline for it. But this Telsword, who's one rank under Caven, like just watches Caven Tor walk off and then shouts out, "These orders came from the king, sir!" And Caven, "Come on, off to the inn. We need to regroup," he said. He shouts back. And the dragons, the Telsword approaches you. You hear a snap as he steps on the deer's neck as he crosses. And he looks you up and down. He gets right up to you and he looks you up and down. And he scrutinizes you for a bit.
"Can I help you, sir? Would you like a song?"
And he looks to, like, he turns to look at the rest of you and, "Come on," he says. "Let's find out what's gotten into the commanding officer," he says. And the purple dragons begin leaving the glade.
Catcher lets out a little breath like, "Oh, sneeze."
And the dragons kind of look at you over their shoulders as they leave. Confusion visible.
At this point, do we know that Catcher can do this?
Particularly, I mean, she doesn't really know she's done it either. She just
In which
offered him a
case, we are going to
suggestion.
be also just as surprised.
Wow, that was a close one.
I think
Try
1,
this.
2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. In response to your question, Tilda, let's have a Arcana check.
Oh.
Sorry, I would say that probably Slate
14.
wasn't really
persuasive.
actually paying attention.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Their own world.
Two in character.
Katya,
Okay.
that was amazing.
You've just got to know to say the right thing at the right time. Just strength of personality. That's what I was taught.
I mean, there's strength of personality, and then there's whatever you just did, which was amazing.
I just gave him a better suggestion.
Was
It
it
was
though?
amazing. I'm not sure it was helpful.
Hiram, you know that there's something up with Katya. There's more to her than meets the eye. You've seen it on multiple occasions where, like in your time together, where Katya's said something, and then something very peculiar has happened that you would normally expect to see from a wizard or a sorcerer or a cleric or something like that. You've seen people take injuries and then seem better because Katya's told them to get up or like walk it off. Zumbo, you outright know that weren't normal. Like there was, you feel like your forehead feels warm, Zumbo. So all of a sudden it feels very warm. Like your ears are tingling. As Katya was talking to the Tellsword. And given your profession, Zumbo, you know that all of these perps, all these purple dragons, to willingly turn down an order seemingly from the crown itself is like that. Like, if perps are going to do it, they ain't going to do it that brazenly.
Yeah, does that work on like anybody? What you just did, like judges, customs officials, jailers, you know, because that is proper Andy. That
Not everyone reacts the same way. It was very handy in when I used to do shows and stuff for the troupe, just getting extra tips out of people. Doesn't work on everyone. I remember me and Badger once did an experiment with it. Before that star fell, it didn't work on you. So no, it's just yes. Sometimes you've just got to be able to say the right thing at the right time, and people, people see the sense in it.
Badger, you notice your tattoo begin to glow, and there is a sense of concern that spreads. You feel it in the back of your head, and it seemingly kind of runs down your spine.
What?
It is a feeling you've felt a few times before when
Yeah.
Azrad has seen something he disapproves of.
She's just like, what is it? We'll talk later.
There's a flitter of almost begrudging acceptance, like resignation almost. But yeah, the feeling of Azarad, the Gith's eye in the back of your head, kind of dissipates.
Also, Slate, I think it's appropriate you didn't roll because Catch has already sort of come to you slightly about this.
Well, I mean, with Slate, I mean, they're in quite a state of shock at the moment anyway, so they're just not
Yeah.
Why don't we start
engaging anyway.
moving back
Like
to-
everyone could. Sorry.
Look at the bright side anyway. Hellenis doesn't have to go with the purple dragons, and we can carry on our way.
Well, we definitely should get back to Dead Look. Standing around here is probably not wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll have to talk about the consequences of this, because I don't think she's just going to be left alone. And I think we now made her seem more suspicious.
well, we probably should get back to the fort and not go via Stagstead's. I reckon go around.
You'll have to, yeah. And look first. Let's get those supplies, I think.
Aren't the purple dragons on their way to Deadluke right now? Because you said go back to the inn.
We'll give them an hour ahead of us, and then we'll go to Deadluke.
Can we leave? There might be a dragon around.
Yes, probably is very, very wise idea to leave.
Hellenis has just been stunned this whole time, and as she looks to you, Katya, and I don't quite understand what just happened, but thank you.
I'm sure you've saved my life at some point, maybe maybe back in the forest. So you're welcome.
She nods, and Axicast, as Hellenis and Axicast begin their journey, begin walking with you. Axicast, kind of stopping to wince every so often, says, "When the purple dragons are throwing their weight around, it always gets It's always a bit worrying when they do that, she says. I think, Elenis, you dodged a bolt there. And Elenis seems kind of quiet as you all head back to Deadluke. So with Helenis's aid, there's first aid is administered. Axakas's sprained ankle doesn't particularly slow you down too much, and it is approximately 12 miles to Deadluke if you go in a straight line. So are you holding off? So it's going to take about, give or take, 3 hours to get to Deadluke. How you say you want to give the Purple Dragons an hour head start, but how long are you waiting?
Well, what do you mean?
Are you waiting?
Why don't we just send in the 30 people to get the supplies?
Yeah.
Hope they're not gonna get spotted by Purple Dragons. Catcher definitely doesn't go. Yeah, and then we can just go.
Okay.
Before leaving, I think Slate would be, I guess getting some sort of twigs or vines or something, kind of like weaving them into signs to leave on the area. Something like, I don't know, some sort of like kind of something that would represent, for instance, maybe family, and then circle, and then broken as well. So just very simple signs, but like put in a very clear place.
So are you effectively leaving a message in Druidic? In a roundabout way. So what, like with the symbols that you're using, what's your message?
Basically, leaving a thing that's kind of either family or trust, or both. Family, trust, and then a broken, sort of lot of broken twigs all in one, basically saying this has been destroyed.
Can Balthazar notice if Slade is doing that?
I think with your perception, yeah, you would, because it'll take Slate a little while to effectively, craft the message, I guess. But
This would have probably been happening whilst everyone was doing what they were doing, as kind of.
For sure.
All right.
Okay.
So we go to Deadluke. Stealthy people get the cart, and then we go to Fort Lysera. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Okay. In which case, so the 3 hour journey to from here to Deadluke, is there are there any conversations going on between you? Is there anything that anyone wants to ask or speak to anyone about?
Zumbo would want to catch Badger if he can get her kind of away from the group a little bit. If she's hanging back or she's ahead, he would try and have a semi-private chat with her.
Okay, so just to check, so Zumbo and Badger, Hiram, Tilda, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I would like to know what's going on with Slate.
Okay.
What is this culling the beast, etc.?
Okay, so Zumbo and Badger, Hiram and Slate, Catcher and Balthazar, just full house it.
Why not? If Balthazar's okay with that.
Balthazar will probably speak with Hiram actually, and Emily.
Oh.
I mean, honestly, I would not walk away from the group. I think whatever. I'm curious of what's going to be Slate, and I think everyone should probably hear it.
Okay.
But
Well,
go to him then.
Tell you what. Whilst because it's just the two of them. So Badger, as you're kind of ahead of the group, helping kind of pick out the way through the forest, given that it's such a kind of a favoured terrain for you, you hear some like the sounds of awkward like running across the forest floor. It would seem that mushy forest floor plays havoc on a peg leg. But yeah, you potentially a bit more out of breath than he might be, because if he had to full-size feet. You turn to see Zumbo kind of running up to you.
Everything all right?
Yeah. Wait up a minute, will you? This thing keeps getting stuck in logs and puddles.
Okay.
Anyway, I just wanted to say, Badger, I've been watching you since since I took you all on, and I've been mightily impressed. You know, you show real. They're not an easy bunch to corral into some sort of order, and you show real leadership. You know, remind me of myself, I guess, a bit a few years back. And also, you got some amazing jumping skills. I mean, the way you hurtled up that tree when we fought the owlbears, and up onto the tent afterwards, and I mean, you're like a jackrabbit. It's amazing.
Well, you see, the elves taught me how to use the wind to help me jump further. I can try and show you if you like, although I've never taught anyone before, not successfully anyway.
I mean, I'd love to have a go at it, but actually, what I wanted to speak to you about was, well, I think you got all the makings of a great bosun, and I'm in need of some help to manage this crew of ours. And well, I've already offered the lifeboat job to Balthazar, so I'm afraid that's taken.
Oh,
But
okay. So what is a bosun?
well, basically, your job would be to help me keep order on deck, make sure the hands are at their station, but also you're in charge of the rigging and the mast, and you've already shown you can get up at height, work well at heights. So the job's yours if you want it, but you don't have to answer just yet.
No. Do you think we're on a ship right now?
No, not right now. Of course, I'm not bleeding stupid, but
Okay.
we'll be on a ship at some point, right? When we get my ship back, and I'll need a bosun because my last one, well, he's indisposed.
Right. Well, it does make sense that when we're on a ship, you would be captain of the ship because you've got sailing experience. So I suppose that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, captain job's taken. I'm afraid. I'm sure you'd be great. You've got potential. Maybe.
Oh, I don't know anything about captaining a ship, so bosun it is, I suppose.
You'd be amazing, yeah. And
Thank you.
if you're nervous about it, I can show you the ropes. Don't worry about it. You can learn on the job.
Good one. The ropes. It's very good because there's ropes on ships. I like it. Okay. Yes, I'll bear it in mind. Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You've already got inspiration, so you can't have it. You can't have it again.
There's too much inspiration.
Okay.
I had to mute myself for laughing.
So, Hiram, you watch kind of Zumbo kind of retreat back into the main group. Badger sort of Badger kind of drifts back from being on point. There's, I guess, maybe a slightly confused but slightly almost kind of excited look on her face.
Yeah, sort of not quite sure what just happened, but it seemed good, I suppose.
But yeah, Hiram, you get a you notice that whilst the chatter's kind of emerged, flared up throughout the group, Slate is kind of kicking their feet. Slate's in Rowan's state still, right?
Yeah, but I would say if you were looking back at Rowan, you'd probably be seeing someone a lot younger. I mean, Rowan was already what sort of probably 15, now is 12, looking.
Ooh.
If you can place your ages.
There is another young redhead.
Yeah.
Kind of kicking her feet behind the group.
Okay, so I think Hiram is going to slow down to make sure that they are walking at the same pace and just go, "Hey, Rowan, what happened there? The ghosts. Do you want to talk about it?"
I don't know. Everything's... It's just confusing at the moment.
So, Slate, as you struggle to kind of find the words to respond to Hiram with, So I guess the almost the commandment from Navla echoes in your head. Remember, the beast must be culled. And the sickle that she gave you, where is it?
I think it would be like hidden away, like not anywhere on Slate's person, or just shoved into a sort of satchel or anything, just to keep it as far away from Thought, knowing it's kind of important to keep with them, but not.
Mm-hmm. So whilst, you've kind of packaged your sickle away, but like you find yourself distracted because you're just keenly aware that you have it, and every time you try to think about something else, you find your mind just brought back to that rusted crescent-mooned blade deep in your bag. But yeah, like how's Slate feeling about that commandment as Hiram looks down at you, eyebrows raised, gentle elbow nudges.
It's for Slate. I mean, they don't know, mainly because I don't know, but also they don't know what it could mean, and they are just so confused because to them Baz was basically all they knew. They didn't know they didn't know his story, his background. They just knew that he was always on the run, and a beast must be culled doesn't ring with any kind of history that they know of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a terrifying kind of feeling to know someone you think so well, and then to not know them at all, and to have no answers, and to feel just like a child again, like you've not been given any of the information.
Hiram, because you all heard Navla's condemnation, I'm assuming this is, that's the context for Hiram talking to Slate. So what's Hiram's take on what Navla said?
Actually, I think Hiram is going to try to voice it out loud, and he actually stops and puts a hand on his shoulder, like, "Hey, listen to me for a second. This looks like a very personal matter, and it looks difficult and dark, and I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I just want you to remind you that we are here to help you. You were there for me when my family was taken, and you helped me through a lot of problems. Just want you to know that we can do the same for you, okay?"
I don't know how you can help, and I don't know where I don't know what it all means. I just want to.
That's okay. Don't have to know at the moment. If anything else, we can all figure it out together. There is no rush. When you feel like you need to deal with it, let us know, and we will be there for you. Okay?
Okay. And in like the tiniest voice, Rowan will look up to Hiram and say, "Can you take this from me? I don't know what to do with it, and I don't want to have it. I don't want to think about it anymore." And then get the sickle out. Well, not get the sickle out, but get the bag and kind of just go like that and just like look away.
Of course. And Hiram is going to take it and put it in his bag. I suppose it fits.
Hiram, as your fingers wrap around the handle of this rusted, old, battered sickle.
It's still in a bag. It's still in a bag. I'm not touching the actual sickle. I want to be very clear on that.
Oh, it just got rolled out of a bag, didn't it?
Actually, I thought we handed her the bag.
Yeah,
I've just handed an open bag to be like, well, don't take the bag, but take the thing.
Oh, okay.
If you try and take the bag, she will hold the bag and go,
"Oh God, time to get
bag."
possessed, I suppose. Let's do this." What's wisdom?
A wisdom saving throw.
That's a 6.
Oh no, sorry.
Nice one, yeah.
Yeah.
Hiram, your fingers wrap around the hand of this, so it's like it looks like a you look at it, I mean, this looks like a gardening tool that's just been left out in the wild. Well, it looks like it's been left in a barrow for a very, very long time. You know, the wood is rusted, the wood is rotten, the metal is rusted. But as your fingers kind of wrap around the handle to lift it out, you suddenly feel like it's like your world suddenly tunnel visions onto the bag, like Slate's bag, and you find your fingers kind of involuntarily wrapping around the wood, and you can almost feel like the mulchiness of the wood starts to give way as your fist clenches tighter and tighter, and Slate, you hear Hiram's gloves, like leather gloves, start to creak and squeak as his hand wraps tighter and tighter. And Slate, you watch as Hiram's head looks up at you slowly, and you notice that Hiram's pupils are pinpoint. And Hiram, you have the urge to take this sickle and run it through Slate's gut.
Oh no, let's not do that.
And Slate, you watch as Hiram starts baring his teeth, breathing heavily, it almost looks like he's becoming more hunched and bestial by the moment. Hiram, what do you do in this enraged state? You feel like you have to destroy something. What's the first thing you destroy?
The fingers holding the sickle.
The bag.
I want to break my fingers that are holding the sickle.
What?
Okay.
I will let go for sure.
Okay. You. So Slate, you watch.
In seeing this, is there like any way of kind of maybe like dispelling magic or anything? Seeing someone, is there an anger?
Yeah, are we all seeing it, or is it?
Have we all seen it?
I think.
Is it?
So because Slate was at the back of the group, and obviously they stopped to kind of do the bag stuff. So that you as a group have carried on slightly. You're maybe about 20 foot away before you've turned around and realised that Slate and Hiram have just stopped in the forest. And Hiram looks, as you turn around and notice, it looks like Hiram's about to knock Slate out. Like has a hand in Slate's bag, and then there's this expression of unbound fury and rage just smeared across Hiram's face, and you've probably only seen that look a couple of times, and one of them, well, tell you what, those of you who, so it's going to be those three, isn't it? Let's roll a history check, see who remembers best. Between Badger, Katya, and Emily.
7.
An 8.
Oh god. Oh my god.
You guys know me very well.
Oh god.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So we don't remember this, but we're still seeing it, right?
Still seeing it. You can't remember seeing Hiram this angry.
Katya just calls out, Hiram? And her words are empowered with a counter charm. Oh, I like that expression, Dan. Oh, that makes me feel.
So you, like, as you shout out Hiram, you all watch as Hiram's hand comes out of this bag holding the rusted sickle that Slate picked up. Slate was given by the ghost, by the druid's ghost. And like Hiram seems to pull back, but then like his other arm reaches across and you see it grab the little finger of the, and Hiram just, and at that point you shout out, Hiram, you stop and like your finger is bent back, and you as you suddenly feel the pain of your joint. It's not broken, but like you pulled it a long way back, and you sit and you drop the sickle, and it hits the ground, and like you feel drained.
At that point,
I don't think I should touch this.
At that point, Rowan would. I guess there's been some damage done there, right?
You didn't hear a pop or a crack, so Hiram didn't successfully crack his own finger before Catcher.
Okay, I think Rowan will still try to cure whatever, just as a. Oh no.
No. Well, so you.
Should have back to
Yeah, so you
health. Thank you.
you put some because it's sore, right? So you start to you pump some healing magic into Hiram, and Hiram, as you some of your memories start to flood back, and the two of you look at each other, and it dawns upon you almost immediately that Slate, that didn't happen when you picked it up.
I'm so sorry. I don't. And then I'll run to the sickle and just look at it and go, and try and maybe even bury it. Just try to do something with it whilst I'm doing it. Just pick it up and just start digging into the ground with it.
Okay. So yeah, what's everyone doing whilst you watch? You swear Rowan's a bit younger. Like maybe it's the light, but there's the red-haired girl just frantically digging at the soft, damp earth, and then presumably just
with tears streaming down her face. By the way,
I think Catchy comes up to Percy, puts a hand on Hiram, slight concerned look in her eyes, everything all right?
I don't know. Slate, stop, and then try to calm her down.
And that's where Catchy sort of puts her hand, it's like, just let the girls talk, I think.
Badger's going to approach as well and sort of. I think she's probably going to help Rowan with whatever she's trying to do without touching the sickle. Well, no, she's just using her mover cantrip to kind of create a little divot for the sickle.
Okay, so Slate, as you're frantically kind of digging at the earth, Badger, you walk over and what does your move earth look like? Like, what are you doing to do it?
I think she just kind of makes digging motions in the air, and the ground where she wants it to happen just kind of starts gently moving out of the way, as if it was her hands.
Okay, so you watch as this kind of forest ground is sifted away almost as if it were sand. And as you watch Badger kind of gently moving her own hands from side to side, Catcher, you're stood next to Slate, who seems a bit inconsolable, and then just at her, Slate, I'm guessing you're on your knees, just in front of Slate on the floor. This sickle.
So, what are we doing with this then, Rowan?
I don't know. I just we need to go, and this is just and then at that point, I guess, seeing that there's enough space, we'll put it down, and then as they put it down, they'll kind of look at it and really, really look at it and kind of just go, what is this, basically? And I guess, is that an inspection?
Yeah, let's do a. Well,
The Arcana.
so,
right?
yeah. So it's a sickle, right? So I think what we're really asking for is an Arcana check, because we're trying to figure out why it just tried to make Hiram try to kill you. Which I suppose is the more imposing question in this moment in time. Okay, so rolling a 4, like you just don't know what this thing.
Oh,
You don't know
this is
what
so
it
hard.
is. You don't know what it does. All you know is as you look at it and like your eyes wild as you try to fathom what's happening. And then like as you in that immediate moment, who do you look up to, Catcher or Badger?
Well, Badger was the one who just asked, so Badger would be the one. That,
As you
especially because Badger just moved the earth, would just be like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know.
as
It's
you
evil. It seems evil.
So as you look up at Badger, behind her, about 40 foot away, you see a human feminine figure wearing a dragon skull just look at you across the forest.
Rowan will scream at that point and jump back.
And yeah, those of you who are close by, as you see Rowan react, if you turn and look, what's she screaming at?
What is it?
The woman with the it's her. She's there. She's there. She's there. I don't know what to do.
Catcher puts a hand on your shoulder, and she's like, "Just trust in us. We'll keep you safe."
At that point, I'll just kind of look at the dagger, at the sickle again, and just say, "Am I supposed to keep? Do I have to keep? I don't know."
The spirit. Sorry.
No, after you.
It's so frightening. Change and the unknown. The spirit back in the cave seemed to choose you, but it's just as important that you get to choose too. And you don't have to decide right now. You don't have to use it right now. But maybe we could keep it safe somewhere until you know what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll pick it up and wrap it as tightly as I can with some sort of sash or cloth. Put it in the very, very dark recesses of my satchel.
Mm-hmm.
And then just thank everyone. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I don't... Thank you.
As you say your thanks, and as a group you begin carrying on in a southeasterly direction towards Deadluke. You're about halfway. Slate, as you walk along, you're just acutely aware of a sickle in your bag. So 3 hours come and go. 2 hours come and go, and it dawns on you that the purple dragons would have arrived at Deadluke by now. What are you still carrying on in a straight line, or what are you doing about? Because you gave the purple dragons an hour head start, right? So,
In part, I wanted to have a chat with Hiram and Emily. Just a reminder.
That's right.
Yeah. There'll be time for that, don't worry.
So I
Yeah,
think what we'll do they'll just come in from a different direction, and they'll just stay out of the direct line of travel.
Okay, fine.
That might take a bit longer.
Yeah. So so basically, you've travelled the 3 hours from Narvla's Barrow to Deadluke. If you're now kind of beelining for Fort Lysera, if you're going down the Starwater Road, I mean, you can either go past the front door of the Stag's Stead, give or take. I mean, I say front door; it's like a couple of miles off the track. How do you want to travel to Fort Lysera? Because you'll have a cart with you, right? So
I'd imagine that we're trying to avoid that for now because we've got one person that's been been agreeing to our not having taken away Hellenus, but the rest of them might just be like, shouldn't she be here? So I feel like we're gonna invite danger if we go straight past Stagstead's. No.
I think the best way is we come in to Deadluke from a different direction. Then 2-3 stealthy people get the cart, and then we'll just meet further down Stallwater Road and just travel down. Because the purple dragons aren't going to be coming up our way from Stagstead to Deadluke. They'll be going the other way, so we're not going to cross them.
We haven't got any way to pull the cart. Balthazar carried it to Deadlook, didn't he? So if it's like me and Badger sneaking in, then we're not going to be able to pull a cart full of supplies.
And I think Slate's probably too traumatized to turn into a draft horse.
Slate, you could be a draft horse, Slate.
I think it would be at the suggestion of people just being like, you should do this, rather than Slate coming up with anything at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I'll give you quick access to your tokens. But there might always be a horse to purchase.
No.
Why purchase a horse when you could be a horse? That's my motto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll suggest it to Slate if they feel up to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, how's Slate feeling about being pack horse?
I think Slate would rather be a horse than anything else at the moment.
Hey, Slate, what a long face.
Oh.
DM loses inspiration.
As you kind of start to approach Deadluke, you make a point of kind of going round the perimeter, because Deadluke, is a village and a clearing in the forest, right? So you kind of go round the perimeter of the clearing, then come in from sort of like the other end of Deadluke. Who is designated stealth mission party?
Is it Balthazar?
Yeah.
I can
Not
I
it.
can go.
I'm happy to.
Okay, so Badger, Zumbo. Sorry, was there a Balthazar?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
I mean, when we say stealth mission, how are we? It's not going to be that stealthy because we're stealing a cart, right?
Are we stealing it or are we collecting it?
No, you are collecting it. Yeah. Realistically, Slate has to go with you as well.
So it's less stealth, as in no one should see you, and more stealth, as in people can see you, just not these particular purple dragons.
Yes.
Got you. Okay.
Yes.
But they're more in Stagstead, aren't they, rather than?
Still on their way.
Yeah.
They're an hour ahead of us.
Yeah.
They might stop at Deadluke for like.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So where did you tell them to go?
Back to the tavern. Well, back to basically, she said to leave Hellenus with us, and you should go back to the tavern, which is again the Stagsteads where they were heading.
Ooh, is the Stagsteads a tavern?
It is not.
Who the heck knows?
Okay, interesting.
They're going to get the Deadluke tavern.
So
There could be any tavern there.
Yeah.
Katja,
They've actually gone north. They're going to a tavern in Evenstar.
Even
Cooler tavern.
Yeah,
He
but-
knows all about it.
I think so.
Hipster tavern.
Right.
With
Well,
a guest house.
Badger, Katya, and Slate, because Slate, you are the transport. So you're all kind of waiting on the edge of the forest, like everyone else. So Hiram, Balthazar, and
Can't you?
sorry, it wasn't Katya, it was Zumbo.
Waiting, yeah.
Yeah, beg your pardon. Sorry, Badger, Zumbo, and Slate. Yeah, so you kind of go into Deadluke from the north as opposed to kind of from the west, and you kind of make your way through the town. By this point, because you left at like 4:30 a.m., so it was 7:30 by the time you got to the Barrow. You were there for about half hour, so it's about 11 o'clock, right? Late morning. So the town is kind of sprung up, like you can see the workers kind of doing their thing, and there's chitter chatter between kind of local villagers, and the three of you just I mean, how are you doing this? What's your tactic to get? Are you just going loud and proud, or are you going between from shadow to shadow, or?
Oh, am I already in pack horse state, or am I in just
Your call.
gen change? Because if not, then I'll do pass without trace for everyone.
Ooh,
Okay.
very, very nice.
Just
Very good.
to keep that going.
Okay.
Just gonna do it
So
that way.
yeah. So at that point, if you cast it, so it lasts for an hour, right? So yeah, so I'm guessing you cast it when you're on the edge of the village, so it hits everyone.
Yeah, towards.
And I'm guessing everyone else is rendezvousing on the southeastern edge of Dead Luke, like the southern edge. Okay, cool. So, yeah, Catcher, Balthazar, Hiram, as you kind of sneak round around the edge of the village. The other three of you kind of boldly stroll in. And so, like, as you're walking along, you're just almost trying to kind of be unassuming. And some of the villagers kind of look over in your direction and kind of make pulling faces at troublesome adventurers traipsing around town. Oh, no good. There's only trouble when an adventurer comes into town. That sort of thing. But soon enough, in the dominating the center of the village is the Blushing Maiden. And your cart is in the stables off to the side. Yes, Badger.
I'm looking for purple dragons.
Okay.
The telltale flashes of purple.
The smell of a purple dragon.
What's Sumbo doing?
Can we smell bacon? Yeah. Is it stretching minor illusion a bit to use it to change our appearances? Yes. Slightly. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So if nothing else, it's a static image that goes translucent.
Have you got minor illusion as well?
In it.
I have.
We should both do minor illusion just for funsies.
You can do a bush that's moving forward.
We'll do a Zorius thing of a little box.
Yeah, we just cast it like 5 feet in front of us. We run up to it. We cast it ahead. Run up to it.
With a horse following you, is that right?
Yes.
Slate, Zumbo, and Badger, if I can borrow perception checks.
Oh God!
Badger got a 14.
Okay, that's fine.
Can I say, can you fix this whole forge thing that's happening right now? I'm seeing the rolls going wrong.
Can I fix the random dice roller? I'll do my best. You manage. So as you're going through, your heads are on swivels, looking out for purple dragons. You don't see any.
Mm-hmm. Well, coast is clear.
Yep, you find the wagon that is horseless. You successfully managed to back Slate into the... Yes, hello?
I tell you what, we could use minor illusion to block the view of Slate transforming into a horse.
Just for modesty purposes.
Or are you already a horse?
No, I'm walking with you as Rowan. And then...
Does the horse end up wearing a slinky red dress like all your other personas?
Interestingly, no.
Slinky red dress.
But yes,
is Ameline special? Unfortunately.
Okay. All right.
In the stables, Rowan transforms into a pack horse, a draft horse, and you manage to rope her in, rope Slate into the front of the carriage.
Can I say this is the saddest looking horse there ever was?
A quick
is it a donkey?
Horses never agree with anything. No.
Oh, good. A quick cursory glance.
Getting disliked for that.
A quick cursory glance of the back of the carriage, and all the cargo is there still. No one's been pilfering it. So with a gentle
minor illusion to make it look like it's not there now. That's right.
Are there any? Because it's kind of a mix of supplies, right? Are there any sort of clothing or any winter cloaks or anything we could throw over ourselves just to hide our?
Yeah, you'll be able. There'll be some clothes to kind of disguise yourselves. They're human-sized clothes, so they'll swamp you a little bit. You'll just look like little Jawas.
I'm by Zumbo, I don't know about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, with a gentle pat on the rump, you set Slate into motion, and yeah, you succeed. Well, actually, just in case. You can roll it with advantage because at least the animal you're trying to handle is literally one of your party members.
Oh, I forgot advantage, sorry, but
13.
25 sounds very good.
13 and 25. Okay, yeah, so Badger, you managed to maneuver Slate, the horse, and the carriage out of the stables, and before you know it, you're trundling out of Deadluke.
Forgot
Job
I had.
done.
I forgot I had animal handling proficiency. Finally helpful.
And Catcher, Balthasar, and Hiram, you're on the edge of town. You watch as this car kind of starts trundling towards you. You notice that every so often the cart, like rhythmically, the cart just kind of tilts a little bit because one of the wheels was a bit knackered from the goblins having it. I don't think anyone cast mending. Has anyone got it? Okay, so this car just donk, donk, just every so often. Yeah, a bit of the wheels missing. And there are these kind of. Are you guys wearing the clothes that you found in the cart?
Zumbo is. Yeah.
I just got one like over her head, like a headdress to hide her pink hair.
Okay. What looks like two children dressed up as monastic monks, like religious monks, start sort of like trundling, like cultists. They start trundling towards you, and as it gets closer, you can out of this hood, you can see the beaming smile of Badger with little bits of pink hair poking down, and then you notice that the one next to Badger, you thought the head was big, but no, it's just over the hat, over the tricorn hat, and you see the eye patch and whatnot. And yeah, you notice that the three of them are trundling out on the cargo. No trouble asked. Like no hiccups at all.
Cool. Make our way to Fort Lysera, I guess.
Okay. As the cart stops in front of you, gives you a chance to kind of climb in and get yourself sorted. You got to kind of find spaces to sit, for example. Whilst Slate's kind of tethered in, so he's facing down the road. Badger and Zumbo can't move all that much, or their extra large t-shirts fall off them. Balthasar, Hiram, and Kat, you roll me perception checks.
18.
17.
2.
Okay.
Dream team right there.
As everyone's kind of getting sorted, Balthasar, you're kind of stood at the back of the cart because they kind of have to make a bit more room for you. And as you're just kind of looking around and waiting, you look back into the village, and you see a silhouette perched on the roof of the Blushing Maiden. And with a 22, it looks like it's not humanoid. It looks like some sort of. It's almost like some sort of almost like a wolf or like a badger, an actual badger. It just looks like some sort of beast perched on the thatched roof of the tavern, of the inn. And as you peer it slowly, you realise that it's silhouetted because its fur is jet black. The only flash of colour is what looks like streaks of it's red fur that streak out across its face that kind of wrap around two piercing yellow eyes. And as you try to focus on it, it ducks out of sight and disappears.
Oh god.
Mm.
He'll start looking around. And I think he'll probably keep it to himself. Because he doesn't want to show he's afraid.
Okay. Preparations are complete. The cart is ready to go. And as you, Badger, as you once again gently pat Slate on the butt, the six of you, well, including Helenus and Axicas, who've been suspiciously quiet all this time, begins trundling down the Starwater Road towards Mouth of Gargoyles, but more importantly, Fort Lysera. And we'll take this opportunity to grab a break.
Great.
Thank you.
Excellent.
See you later.
See you in a bit.
In a bit.
Bye-bye.
See you in a bit.
Welcome back, everyone. Hello.
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 So, we rejoin the Warhounds, now complete with carts of supplies on their way out of the forest village of Deadluke towards the Radron's stronghold in Fort Lysera, which is roughly to the south, the east, southeast kind of direction. As Deadluke shrinks behind you as you get further and further away, I suspect that the Warhounds are still on the lookout for any roving purple dragons, which may be in their local vicinity. As you managed to avoid you managed to defuse an awkward situation by enchanting Caven Tor to head to the tavern and kind of rethink his choices. How are you planning on getting to Fort Lysera? Are you sticking? So now you have the cart. The roads are a preferable method of travel. The Starwater Road that you're on, if you follow it for 15 miles, Slate, you know that would then bring you to the junction of the Stagsteads to the south. So the Stagsteads lying about a mile off the road. You can carry on east towards Mouth of Gargoyles. You can head north at the junction to begin heading up towards the village of Knightswood. Fort Lysera lies between the north and east paths. So you could take a direct route, kind of go cross country all the way, or you could follow the road along to a certain point and then kick out to Fort Lysera. Choice is yours.
Follow the road.
As
Keep it simple.
as we're riding, I think I would whinny and kind of steer away from the road and have to be encouraged back every time if that was the main consensus.
So where does so let's start from the top. Balthazar, what way do you think you should go? Like, how far do you stick along the road and so forth?
Balthazar just follows, but Anton thinks we should take the road and just veer off towards the end, towards Fort Lysera. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
There should be no one on this road looking for us.
Okay. Badger?
Yeah, Badger's probably pro cross-country route.
Okay.
Just to kind of, because we don't know that. Stagsteads is a HQ for the loyalists, so there could be people on this road who know us.
Catcher.
Taking with the road to a point and then flipping off cross country.
Where would said point be?
I mean, the crossroads before, like, Stagstead. Like,
Yeah.
maybe then heading up towards Knightswood and then turning off there, because if anything, they're going to be expecting us to be going down, like, towards Mouth of Gargoyles and down to Immercy, So if we turn off towards Knightswood, it'll be the sort of unexpected route to take.
Sounds good.
Hiram?
Jeremy is still trying to get over the whole sickle thing and has no opinion.
Understandable. Zumbo.
I think Zumbo would agree that the cart needs to stay on the road as long as it can. So probably, like Katya suggested, stick on it and then turn off towards Nightwood. And he's also thinking that Betty can turn Helenus and Axcass invisible.
Interesting. Very
Nice.
So we
Okay.
could potentially go
Nice.
past Stagstead without worrying about them being spotted.
good.
Stuff.
I can only imagine Helenus and Axcas are not expecting that.
No, he's not going to warn them either.
Okay, so this leg of the journey, if you're staying on the roads, pretty much, it's 30 miles of road, of path, I should say, through the forest, and then the final 3 miles from the road to Kingswood down into Fort Lysera. Perfect. The cart itself travels somewhere because of the wonky wheel. It's about kind of walking pace, so it's gonna take. So what are we? So it's 11 o'clock, pretty much. Let's say it's 11:30 by the time you guys get out of Dead Luke. It's gonna be about 8 hours trundling along, because there's only one horse, there's only one slate pulling the cart. With all 7 of you, the other 7 of you sat on said cart.
I'm sure some of us are walking. Buffers will be walking.
Okay, fair enough.
He weighs
I bloody well hope so.
probably quite heavy.
So yeah, you've got a fair amount of time to kill. So with that in mind, who wants to go first? What's Catcher doing?
Imagine she's sitting on the cart, playing an idle tune, maybe sort of like trying to compose something of what happened in the burrows, but can't quite think of the song that sounds right for "We were all goddamn terrified and chased by a dragon."
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so whilst you're plinking away on your loot, Badger, what are you doing?
Badger's gonna sort of slide up to Katya, like just almost silently, and go, "That was amazing."
No, I don't think those last few words really went together, but as long as you think so.
No. The way you talk to people is inspiring, Katya. I mean, I've always got on well with people, but I've never made them do things the way you do. Could you teach me?
I suppose I could. I mean, I sort of learned through, I learned through watching Ursula do it and doing it to me and the others. It just her sheer force of personality. You just never really wanted to say no to her. It's almost like you couldn't say no to her. But
Ooh.
I sat, I watched, and listened, and was told to do things. But eventually, on the night I escaped, I tried to emulate her as best I could, and for some reason one of the guards listened, and since then I just tried to channel my best my best Ursula impression, and it seems to work. But it's about how you say it and the delivery of it. So
Yes.
you've just got to be not forceful, but just make it seem like it's the best idea of all. Just
It's the best idea of all. That's what
Exactly.
you say.
well, not you didn't say it exactly, but you kind of think that like you think that what you have to say is irrefutably the best idea of all, and you have to put it in such a way that it makes it. Yeah, it makes sense that how could you say no? Like with Helena's, I mean, how could he say no? Like leaving her in our care, and we're the Warhounds. You know.
Yeah, as you say that, like as you finish your sentence, like you notice almost they look like these little motes of light that just kind of drift. They're like fireflies, like motes of light, a bit like fireflies at night, but it's like midday, and they're this kind of like silvery white light, just kind of dance around each other. It just catches your attention as you finish.
Petra reaches for one
And as you kind of go to grab for them, they almost seem to sort of like blow away from your fingers, and then you watch as they begin to grow. And Badger, you look at it, and as you look down at your arm, you realise that your tattoo isn't lit up. And Katya, you watch as this tall, gaunt figure, long, slender, pointed ears, a long top knot cascading down his back, wearing
patting Badger.
robes similar to Badger's, yet still seemingly kind of distinctly alien compared to Badger's. And you hear the figure looks at you, Katya, and says, "That sounds like a terrible idea."
No.
These powers, the arts which you wield are not to be tampered with lightly. I find your lack of discipline, frankly, unnerving.
She's fantastic with her flames. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, there's no one more disciplined with her fiery punches. What do you...
I think he's talking to me, Katya.
Everyone on the cart, you, including you, Slate, as with your horsey head, you're looking behind you. This spectral, silvery figure of... It's the figure that you've come to associate with Badger every time. You've seen him once in Mouth of Gargoyles, when he terrified that poor villager. But this figure is just has materialized in front of Catherine Badger, and is almost kind of levitating backwards to keep up perfectly with the speed of the traveling cart. And Azarad... Sorry, go on, Julia.
Azarad, would you like to explain why you're being so rude to my friend Katya?
Because your friend Katya is akin to a wildfire waiting to ignite.
Now, that was a long time ago, and we've sorted that out now. There's not doing the fire thing anymore.
I don't want to disappoint Magnus.
Azarad scowls. This Ursula you speak of, she was your mentor?
I wouldn't exactly call her that, more my captor, but yes, she taught most of the troop their talents.
She is proficient in the arts as well.
The arts?
And Azarad's kind of eyes, they glow yellow in this kind of bluey, silvery silhouette. But you notice the eyes open. And yeah, Azarad kind of looks around. Who else is paying attention, like rapt attention to this conversation? Balthazar's facing the other way, kicking his legs off the back of the cart.
Looking behind, making sure he's not being followed by a wolf creature. Like,
Hiram? Zombo?
No, Zombo's nervously scanning the horizon ahead of them for purple dragons.
Okay, fair enough. So in which case, yeah, Helenus and Axcass are kind of in a world of their own. Axcass is reading her spell book. Helenus just seems unusually quiet. Between the two of you, Badger and Katya, you notice that the other person who is noticing the conversation is Emily, who's just sat kind of wedged in between everyone else because it's space is a bit of a premium on this cart. And she's just got this this flat eyebrow look, like almost like a look of not being impressed. Almost utter despondence to everything that's happening. And Azarad chimes in.
On this plane, there are many who are proficient in the arts of the divine, of the arcane. But the more advanced races have unlocked the powers of the mind.
And he looks you up and down, and
I'm surprised you are as proficient in it as you have appeared to be.
I'm not proficient in anything. And she kind of looks around and is like, sure, I'm hearing voices every now and again, but I'm not proficient in anything. And neither was Ursula. Ursula's just a bitch. She is a wizard.
He tilts his head and...
Your mentor was a dog?
Yes, that's definitely one way of describing her.
No, not a dog.
Incredible.
Azarad, no.
Not an actual dog, though.
No. He doesn't do well with sarcasm and metaphor. Just keep it literal.
I see. Okay, sorry. No, she wasn't a dog, Azarad. She was just a very nasty person.
A canine-shaped humanoid.
No, just a very nasty person.
I see. I suspect if I too were a canine-shaped humanoid, I would feel quite disagreeable to others.
I
wish to meet this Ursula.
No.
Oh.
No, we won't be going near Cizael anytime soon. Like, hopefully the king will sort out her empire and the troop, dismantle them.
Can we say we burned that bathhouse?
Azarad frowns.
But you speak of these powers that this Ursula has, that you have. You say that she taught others.
It's just headology. It's just saying the right thing at the right time, and it's not magic. It's not anything. It's just tricks. It's always just been tricks. Say the right thing at the right time, you play the right note, or you sing the right song, and people listen, people enthrall, people look your way, or people do as you say. As she used to do it. She used to tell us to do things, and we'd do them, like, clean the floor, and we'd obey. It's just the way she was. She was just this presence. And I escaped because, I convinced him, and he saw the reason in it, until he changed his mind later. But no, you're wrong. You're wrong. There's not magic. I don't have skills.
Azrad's giving you this kind of this teacherly look as you're saying that. It turns into a frown when you accuse him of being wrong. And he focuses on you closes his eyes, opens them slowly.
It was you. You were the light I reached out for. It was you that I used as my anchor. It was you that brought me here.
And he
You came for Badger. You found Badger. You're on Badger's arm. No.
Nyx here is my host. She keeps me safe, but your psionic energy radiates through the astral sea like a beacon. It was you that I reached for. And if I were to find you so easily, so can others.
And he turns to you, Badger.
You know of whom I speak.
The hunter. Who are they? And who are those people on the dragon?
Azarad, you see him clench his teeth, and like his image, his silhouette, starts shaking. As like his anger, and as his anger starts to rise, Badger, you feel you feel bile kind of rising in your stomach. And Katya, you start to feel frustrated, angry. And Azarad slowly hisses the word
Githyanki. They are lost, wayward children of the astral seas. Once they were slaves, much like you, Katya. And when they sought to overthrow their oppressors, they did not turn to a calm and pleasant life. They became the very villains that they sought to overthrow. The Githyanki became a scourge on the realms, and we Githzerai did all we could to stop them from wreaking havoc and chaos across the multiverse. They are lost.
And what do they want?
He thinks about it, and
there are stories that the Githyanki are spread across this world. They use this world as
and he struggles to think of the word.
They use this world like a creche. They raise their young here. They bond with the dragons of Red, the servants of Tiamat herself. And then they return to the astral seas to pillage the stars. I had hoped that those Githyanki that we encountered earlier today were creche minders. But,
and he looks at you again, Catcher.
Perhaps they are not of this place. Perhaps they were drawn here too, like moths to a flame.
No, you are clearly wise, but you're wrong. It's just tricks. It's just tricks. That's all it is. It's nothing more.
Katya, and Badger puts her hand out onto your knee. If she sort of places her hand close to the knee and sort of waits to see if you'll accept it.
Yeah.
Okay. Katya, what kind of trick convinces a high-ranking purple dragon to defy an order from the king?
I can't accept this, because if it means Ursula has this power, I mean, no one can stand against her. She'd be able to talk her way out of anything. And I helped overthrow Rhaedra because I hoped he'd change things. But if this thing is true, then that means she has a power to just make anyone walk away. I know. I can't accept this. I can't explain things that are happening. I can't explain the voices I hear. But no. I can't believe that's the power that someone possesses.
Zarad frowns and says,
It is very much a power that is possessed by many. The Githzerai, the Githyanki, the Illithid. And if your captor,
he corrects himself,
if your captor possesses this power and uses it to enforce her own will, then you are correct. She is a bitch.
We can agree on that.
Azrad looks back to you, Badger.
This is potentially happening faster than I had anticipated. At one point I had assumed that the hunter was after me, but perhaps the hunter is drawn to a brighter mote of light in an endless sea. It would be wise to prepare your defenses as quickly as you can. The hunter will stop at nothing to reclaim what is hers.
Oh dear.
Out of character, maybe we should let the hunter and the beast that needs to be called fight it out.
Good
I
point.
agree.
And Azrad turns back to you, Catcher, and he tilts his head, and there's this kind of decided sense of like dispassion, like it's very, very matter-of-factly.
I would suggest learning to harness your powers sooner rather than later. It would not suit you well to be consumed by it. All you need is one stray spark to start the wildfire.
I don't intend to set any more fires.
And Azrad's silhouette starts to fade. But as he goes, he says,
You may not have a choice.
and the Githzerai vanishes, and you watch as a silver tattoo crawls back up Badger's arm.
Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
can you... I could really use a hug, but can you hug me with one arm and keep your tattooed arm away?
Yes, of course. And Badger just hugs you with the one arm. Pats you on the shoulder. There.
Thanks.
We'll be okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We'll
And she-
figure something out.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I'm sure it's fine. I mean, I'm sure he's mistaken, right?
He's mistaken, or you learn a pretty cool power. So either
Gotcha.
way.
Badger, in your head you hear,
I am not mistaken.
And Badger replies psychically, I know. You're never wrong.
And I think Katya at that point sort of she stops playing for like the rest of the journey and is pretty much there, sort of trying to shrink herself, much in the same way as Rowan did, but without the reduced age. She is not a shape changer, but she looks small for a change. As she's just digs herself down into the cart.
This is the most fun cart we're all.
You're all being traumatized one way or another.
Yeah.
Spare me 2 secs. Cool. Okay. Perfect. So, last but not least, then, I think everyone's had a go so far. Balthazar.
I think Balthazar would have spent most of the cart ride, I guess, checking up on Emily, but mostly like playing games with her, I guess. Like throwing a rock and then she gets a stick and knocks it, and I don't know, just like idle thing and go, oh, that was a good one.
Like, so,
yeah. Trying to keep his mind of things.
she seems very, very good at it. It's a bit annoying when she corrected you about how the game is played, because she was saying that no, to score a point, she has to hit the rock off your head.
Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure it's like that? All right.
Yes.
And
she said.
Balthazar will play along.
Okay.
And kind of make sure she's okay, because she went through something a bit traumatic, so he's kind of taking care of her. And
So,
yeah.
Well, so yeah, as you're kind of trundling along in the cart, so yeah, there's just the occasional boom. There's another rock ricochets off your helmet. I got another point, she says.
Okay. How do I get points?
She shakes her head slowly. It's a team game. I get the points for both of us.
All right.
Throw
More
another
game playing.
rock.
Sure. He throws it. Oh. Yeah. There's a lot of that. But one thing. Go ahead.
Yes, go.
No, one thing Balthazar will notice will be Axicas reading a book.
Okay.
And he'll stop playing with Emily for a while and go, Axicas.
So yeah, as you turn to Axcast, like Helenus is it's her turn to walk alongside the cart. Axicas is kind of are you walking alongside the cart, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so given your height, like Axicas is just is sat in the back of the cart, one leg out straight, like her injured ankle leg, and you're basically at eye level, right?
Sure.
So yeah, as you say her name, she's reading this book, and then she kind of closes it slightly and turns to you. Yes.
Is that your spell book?
She looks down at it. She looks at you for a moment, and there's just almost a kind of like curious, mischievous smile on her face, and she yes, it is.
You a wizard?
Yes, I am, she says. Do you have a book, little man?
I'm not really little. I was wondering, like, how do you know you can do magic?
She thinks about it for a second, and my dear, next autumn will be my 65th year. I have spent some considerable time researching and learning the mystic arts. Spellcasting does not come easily to most. It is fortunate then that, from what I understand, your kind were built to channel magic quite naturally and innately.
Well, and he'll raise his staff and cast light. Well, this is my second day of making magic. So I'm not really sure how it works.
She looks a little bit like she gives you an unsure look. But you are the product of Implacable, yes?
The project?
Yes.
Kinda. The stuff isn't really part of the project.
Ah.
It's belonged to somebody else.
You see, one particular wizard I had the courtesy of drinking with once upon a time joked about how Implacable was akin to, and I believe his words were, doomsday device. She smiles at you. But I'm sure that you start small with the light.
I'm not sure what you mean. But if you're a wizard, right?
Yes.
What am I? Am I a sorcerer? Or am I something else?
She thinks about it for a moment, and do you have a book?
No.
When you have done things, to make your little stick light up, who are you reaching to? Are you reaching inside? Are you reaching out to something else? Are you happy to reach out to that someone else? Or do you feel like you're obliged to?
I guess I kind of think about the stick and maybe somebody else. Like this something, someone out there. Yeah. Somebody else gives it to me. I don't think it comes from the inside.
She thinks about it for a moment. That is interesting. I was not expecting that. I was expecting some complex change of alchemical and arcane reactions to generate the required mana acquisition to release a spell. But she looks at you. It sounds like you're praying.
I'm praying? Like I pray, I want things to happen and they happen? Or I guess I gotta think about it.
She smiles, and I think you do. I think you do have to think about it. It might be worth waggling your little stick around a little bit more, just to see what it can do. Remember, it is
Oh,
not. Okay.
I don't have a little stick. I got a staff though.
Uh, she kind of raises her eyebrows at you. Indeed, you do. Indeed, you do.
And
And like
boom,
over your shoulder, Hellenis is just alongside the cart, just like shaking her head with a "stop it" face.
yeah, and Balthazar probably gets another rock hit on his it hits him in the head. Emily wants to play again.
You didn't throw it, so I threw it for myself.
Does that still count as a point?
Counts as 2. This is much more efficient at collecting points, says a little half-orc girl.
And Balthazar will happily get rocks thrown at him throughout the rest of the trip.
Aw.
Okay. Before well, like there's a short pause just before that happens. And Axakas turns to you and, what? Why are you here? What are you for?
She's asking Balthazar, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Well, that's quite a big philosophical question, I guess. What are we all here for? You know,
Well,
I guess do some good.
she interjects and says, Project Implacable was designed to stop wars before they start, or end wars as quickly as possible. But you're not doing that. So why are you here? What are you for?
I guess you could call me a bit of a runaway.
So the Kingdom of Cormyr has a runaway doomsday device.
I'm not sure about that word. I'm not quite. I don't think I'm that. I'm something else.
I'm sure you'll grow to like those words, she says, with a mischievous smile. Yeah, she looked like she studies you for a moment and then, watch out, and another stone ricochets off your helmet.
Yeah, that's the bit.
Cool. In which case, yeah, Emily gets bored of her game after about 45 minutes. Like, keeps her attention a surprisingly long time. And as you pass the Stagsteads, Zumbo, you just attack Betty, attach Betty to Helenus and Axicas, and they say, "What are you doing?" And then they just vanish.
Yeah, I'll just hiss at them to shut up and keep quiet for an hour and try not to move.
Okay. So as you're trundling along, so it's been about 4-ish hours. So yeah, it's kind of afternoon by the time you get to the Stagsteads. You peel away. As you're in the proximity of the Stagsteads, you notice a number of purple dragons. They're almost like kind of road guards. They kind of watch you pass, and seeing that there's no trouble. Balthazar, you catch a couple of looks because you're just this lumbering frame, kind of walking alongside the cart. But much to your relief, nothing seems to come of passing by the Stagsteads. You head north up the road towards Knightswood, and then approximately 9-10 miles along that road, Slate suddenly pulls a hard right and begins heading south down towards Fort Lysera. As you the path you find yourself on slopes up towards the fort, and before long, the trees once again start to thin. You see the stone walls of the fort kind of rising up, like cresting over the hill as you approach. And as you get there, you see a couple of purple knights, purple dragons stood on the ramparts. They're wearing standard tabards, similar to what they were wearing last time you were here. And seeing you approach, they open the gates! Open the gates! They shout. And before long, one of them disappears down, and the gates are kind of slowly pulled open. This poor purple dragon, you hear him huffing and puffing because the disrepair of this door means that it's dragging heavily in the dirt, so he almost has to lift the whole thing up and just to bring it out. But eventually the gate opens. Ahead of you is a small courtyard. You see some makeshift practice dummies, like attack dummies, scattered about, and we're talking like scarecrows with buckets on their heads. You see, off to the right, there are a couple of archery stands. On the other side of the courtyard, you can see a doorway, like an archway into the main area of the fort. And you notice that there seems to be a lot of commotion.
Can I ask?
Yes.
There's a lot of commotion, so there'd be no attention on getting the cart in. Is that right?
Yeah, so the cart comes in, like you're just kind of directed in. It's primarily the purple dragon that is kind of helping you in. The one up on the ramparts is still kind of looking out, and after you all enter, you hear a sigh, like a deep breath from the purple dragon in the courtyard with you as he lifts up the port door and starts like swinging it closed again. Kind of closing it off behind you.
I'd say the minute that Slate can no longer be a horse that's carrying a cart.
Yeah.
So if there are any people who are willing to then take a cart, as in anyone in the fort, Slate would immediately turn back into Slate or back into Rowan or anything that's not basically the horse carrying the cart, so that anyone else can do that job.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, the archway directly in front of you into the main courtyard is too small for the cart. You would have to kind of go round through the various segments of the fort to, you'd have to go basically go around the other way, anti-clockwise. Are you basically just wild shaping back into Slate form ASAP? Maybe even
the minute there's a single chance, not. As soon as there's people who could carry it for them,
yeah,
as in not our crew, but other people who are like, oh, well, let's help them, that immediately like, yep, cool, you can help, and then just leave, basically.
So there's, as you start to see people kind of begin to untie you from the front of the cart, you transform. There's a moment where one of the ropes still hasn't actually come off, so for a moment, Slate is just kind of hanging across one of the ropes that was keeping them bound in as a pack horse, but you managed to kind of slide off that, I mean, so the cart is just kind of left here, almost kind of in the archway, and the purple dragon just kind of says to you, "It's fine there, it's fine there." But yeah, I say through the personnel archway. Big commotion in the kind of large courtyard where all the tents are and the like. What do you do?
Zumbo would probably go investigate, I think.
Yeah, immediately start following everyone else.
Okay, so as you walk through, the kind of the low hanging arch, the excitement, I guess, like the energy. Almost kind of stands at odds with the visuals of this kind of relatively decrepit keep. Like there's smells coming out of the central tower to your right of food that smells like it's burning, presumably just kind of overcooked a bit too long. You can see groups of purple dragons kind of stood around. So it's not excitement. They're stood around kind of talking to each other a bit nervously, a bit kind of guarded. And like seeing you enter into the courtyard, you notice that these guards seem to be parting to allow you to pass, but they're kind of giving you slightly awkward, worried looks. You also notice that none of them are wearing red striped tabards.
I just say at this point that invisibility is still. I've not dropped concentration on that.
Sure, no, that's fair enough. In which case they're invisible behind you. Yeah, you can see. So even though the dragons are kind of getting out your way, you can see that they're all looking at the large kind of
that brings us to the end of
commander's tower, if you will.
Potentially a large shift
did you have a
in
question?
what's at stake here in the King's Forest.
I was just going to say, like, is there any kind of evidence of kind of a struggle, fight, anything that's happened here? Is there scuffles?
Is there any bad blood between Magnus and his former guildmates?
But a new...
What is the revelation around Katya's powers?
See no signs of struggle.
Party?
No.
Thank you for watching through to the end of the video.
Concerned purple
if you liked what you saw, give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. You can find links to some of our other social media accounts in the description.
So
and if you're hankering for some more Warhounds goodness, there's another video to watch right here. Whether you're loyalist or Raidran, consider hitting the subscribe button here. We release new videos throughout the week. Until
think
next
should we
time,
ask for
stay
permission
safe,
to go to the tower
and may the
first?
realms endure.
Nah, we're celebrities.
So as you head
Not
towards the tower, because there's it's a small flight of stairs up into the tower proper. You notice a tailsword kind of come out, and he sort of like looks to you all and this will be interesting, he says, and like under his breath he leans into. Are you all there, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so he kind of leans down to you a little bit and be on your guard. Be careful what you say. And he just kind of heads off to join the other soldiers. And as you kind of get closer to the tower and you start to climb the staircase up to the tower entrance, you see around the table a fish, woman of the woods, flanking her. And they've all got their backs to you. They're all stood around the table, and it sounds like an argument inside. And as you enter into the tower and you're kind of looking out, you hear a voice call from one of the stairwells, from the stairwell to the ramparts on the left. Why is it that I knew you'd be here if there was trouble brewing? And at the top of the stairwell is Magnus Cobbleson.
Magnus!
Hey!
And as Magnus calls out and says that, Agatha sort of like looks over her shoulder and moves her body enough that on the other side of the table is Raedra Oberskier. One hand
Holy shit.
on the map of the Kingswood that is covered in a number of various wooden tokens. And the previous Queen of Cormyr looks up at the Warhounds and says, "Oh, it's you." And we'll call it there.
Ah!
Okay.
Woo!
You know what? Piracy sounds about good right now. Just good to see.
Magnus is looking good, man. He's been,
Look at that tash.
he's been
He's been
working
looking
out.
after himself. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't see him. I can't see him.
Where is it? Yeah, I think
He's
it's
he's
needs to
right
be
up
more in the
here.
Can
room.
you come in?
If you move into the room,
Let's get into the room.
What is on the table?
There's
right there.
Rachel.
Hey, he does look good.
And
He's really got that tash working for him now. Like
He's had a glow up, you know.
Yep, apparently
Oh,
the belly
hello.
is good for the skin.
So he always had the
Oh.
cowl on before. We never got
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
the dashing hairstyle.
and in this
What's it
moment,
called?
you realise that the way in that Magnus is stood, you can't see his right arm.
No!
Dun dun dun.
Oh dear.
Whoops.
But I mean, I'd hope that if he's using
God, how
if
long
he's
ago was
using
it? we
a
found
shield and a sword.
out?
I hope to God.
We didn't do anything about it, did we? We didn't even try to warn him. Oops.
We talked about it.
No, we talked about
No,
it.
no, no, no. We asked the gnomes to send message to him.
Did they though?
Well, probably not, but at least it tried. Fortunately, without Magnus, we have no one
Yeah,
who can
they-
send messages.
the gnomes probably sent their messages to magnets.
Absolutely.
magnets.
Congratulations, everyone, on completing session 7.
Way.
So yeah, I wonder what happens now, eh?
I mean,
At least you finished all the. At least you finished all those side quests.
Yeah.
It's a bit orcs,
Yeah.
isn't it? Coming face to face with Rager unexpectedly. It's like Soz Babe. We thought we were doing the right thing.
I'm not sorry.
Badger's a bit sorry.
I'm kind of like more like as a person, like still here. Don't know if you were aware. Kind of got abdicated.
I got usurped there, Rager.
Just
Maybe that's a
Rager,
sign.
come on. Yeah.
Get over it.
It is like seeing an awkward ex. You're like, this would be there.
Right, so we will find out how this welcome reunion goes down next week. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all next week.
See ya.
Thanks, Dan.
See you then.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. That brings us to the end of another session, and potentially a large shift in what's at stake here in the King's Forest. Why is the former Queen, Raedra Oberskir, here? Is there any bad blood between Magnus and his former guildmates? What does the revelation around Katya's powers mean for the party? Thank you for watching through to the end of the video. If you liked what you saw, give the video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. You can find links to some of our other social media accounts in the description, and if you're hankering for some more Warhounds goodness, there's another video to watch right here. Whether you're Loyalist or Raedran, consider hitting the subscribe button here. We release new videos throughout the week. Until next time, stay safe, and may the realms endure.